Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Tuesday, August 11th, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 in Hamilton, Bermuda, 9:30 in Mexico City. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. On this day in history in 1965, in the neighborhood of Watts in Los Angeles, was the first day of major race riots in the United States. The Watts riot was to run for 6 nights. At least 34 people ultimately were to lose their lives, and some 1,000 buildings were destroyed. And thus began the next 3 or 4 years of Newark, Detroit, Cleveland, and Los Angeles again, as American cities one after another blew up during the long hot summers of those days in the 60s. Also, as we speak, I'm watching the monitor here, President Obama is leaving Andrews Air Force Base right now on Air Force One to fly up to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. He has a 1:30 p.m. scheduled town hall meeting in Portsmouth on health care. It'll be interesting to see if the know-nothings that have been interrupting the various meetings around the country try to flood that meeting and try to get involved in verbal fisticuffs with the president. I hope they do. He'll make sure that they're responded to properly. Now to our main news. It's earthquake day, it seems. There was a very powerful earthquake of a 7.6 down the Andaman Islands in the Bay of Bengal. The tsunami alert was put out for the Myanmar, Indonesia, and Thailand and Bangladesh areas, but it was later lifted. This was, as I said, a big 7.6 quake. No damage was done. The far more important quake was in Japan. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake struck Japan early today. It injured about 40 people. It triggered fires down in Shizuoka province. It shut down a nuclear power plant and even interrupted Shinkansen bullet train service. That quake hit at 5:07 a.m. local time this morning, about 170 kilometers southwest of Tokyo. The quake shook buildings and jolted people from sleep in and around Tokyo. Tokyo is bracing for the arrival of Typhoon Etau later today anyway, so this is damage coming in spades. Media is reporting that 3 fires have broken out in Shizuoka Prefecture. According to the emergency services, that's the worst hit area. The Hamoka nuclear plant in Shizuoka was immediately shut down. 2 reactors themselves at the plant were shut down by the Chubu Electric Power Company, which operates it. They're saying that as of now, no abnormalities have been seen. The Central Japan Railway shut down Shinkansen bullet trains in the earthquake-hit region. The Prime Minister has set up an emergency control center. The meteorological agency said there was no risk of a tsunami after initial waves raised the ocean surface by about 40 centimeters at Shizuoka. That's about a yard. Typhoon Etau, which we reported on yesterday, is still heading in. In fact, it's probably hitting there right now. It's about 12:30 Wednesday morning there. That's caused at least 13 deaths throughout Japan already as a result of flooding, and the storm is hitting the area right now. So we'll be reporting on that as well. Off to the Atlantic here, the low that we reported on yesterday, you can see it out there to the right, that has now formed into a tropical depression. It has winds of 30 miles per hour, and it could become a tropical storm within a day or two. In an advisory this morning from the National Hurricane Center, the depression is moving to the west at about 13 miles per hour. In the Atlantic and the Southern Caribbean are 2 tropical waves, which we just saw. Each of those have a less than 30% chance of developing into a hurricane. Some economic news. Productivity in the U.S. increased 6.4%. It's the fastest rise in 6 years. Unfortunately, it's mainly due to the fact that companies have slashed their workers' hours and squeezed more productivity out of workers. The 6.4% increase was the biggest in 6 years. Economists have been looking for a 5.4% increase. So this outdid that. The stock market's not too impressed. It's down about 97 points. More fallout from the typhoon that hit Taiwan and China. Typhoon Morakot, the Taiwanese military has rescued about 300 people after a mudslide caused by the typhoon consumed the village. Approximately 400 people still remain missing. A rescue helicopter crashed. It's unclear whether the crew survived. Morakot has dumped at least 80 inches of rain in Taiwan since the weekend before moving on to China, where it has done some damage there. In insurance news coming from London, the UK insurer Friends Provident Group said this morning it has agreed to be bought by the restructuring firm Resolution Limited in a deal that's going to be worth about 1.86 billion British pounds. This would effectively end the takeover battle on the same day that Friends Provident posted a 38% drop in first half pre-tax profit. This would be Resolution's first major acquisition in its announced bid to acquire 3 insurers in the next 2 years. It also sets up consolidation in the UK insurance industry. Friends said Resolution will offer 0.9 new Resolution shares for each Friends share. Resolution is also offering a cash option with up to 500 million British pounds available for Friends shareholders who would rather not cash out. So this would value Friends at about 1.86 billion British pounds, or 13% higher than its market cap on Friday. Insurance Day has an interesting article today written by Christopher Monroe. The airline insurance industry market loss figure for 2009 so far is 4 times the amount of premium collected for hull and liability by the entire sector this year. Mr. Monroe's article cites a Willis publication titled Airline Insurance Insight, in which Willis said that net premium collected at the end of July was $454 million, while the loss figure was $1.85 billion. Willis said the losses broke down to $503 million U.S. in hull losses, a little over $1 billion in liability claims, and a pro rata estimate of $263 million in attritional losses. However, some 60% of airline premium is traditionally placed in the final quarter of the year, but numbers still indicate that insurers will take a loss for all of 2009, even though the premium figures at the end of July did reflect a 12% increase over 2008. Air Force One is aloft and heading north with President Obama on it. Stock market still down about 97 points. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.